Finita la comedy, gentlemen. Jessica can't dance on stage and undress to the plot of The Elusive Spring with a guitar. The form is no longer the same. Like Goofy and Roger Rabbit from the wrong cartoon, like a special flexible sledgehammer in Krusty's suitcase. I thought they all come from Cartoon Town, where the laws of being are smeared clean and distorted to the limit. I thought Bart's non-degree car wasn't a red coupe convertible. I thought the car cannot be alive and with character. I thought Muzio Clementi and Mr. Burns did not work or worked for each other, and in what role. I thought a detective couldn't be a toon. I thought the heroes of the old series will not make a box office in the new ones. I didn't think they were drinking in the same bar in Manhattan where the lawyer was looking for a second door to hide with the rabbit. I thought the handcuff trick wasn't for the new young viewers who haven't seen the old movie. I thought the cities of Yukon and Tokyo were not for the Simpsons and their plots. Not lines of trams of Evpatoria in them. Who said that, by the way? Just as there can be no theme of chasing and dancing unhatched chicks, it will turn out to be a real commotion in one great series. I had that dream again in the torture room. I was now standing at the switch, and Walt Disney sat in the armchair. Michael Caine stood next to him, his doppelganger, unnecessary Simpsons twins. Jack London himself in the same Hall of Fame with a switch and a chair in the middle of a small room. There are fired Matt Groening and Rupert Murdoch. His former owner with a non-working toy cartoon, but a live mouthpiece. What about toy boxes? They are not in the series because they are not needed, just like the deceased Igor Stravinsky, who was somewhat embarrassed to ask if Jack London is asking too much from Walt Disney, to die without having any opportunity to do so. What wild impudence! And what kind of music, do you ask? They lost their temper. McDowell didn't even want to be resurrected by his friends. Of course. It was worth buying a company to correct errors after the final releases of the series and re-release them again. Updated parallel plots are not woven into more than one series as before. And the idea of how Homer got into the old series from the new series is not new for a long time, but beaten. When Vika looked at such a series, she stopped drinking forever. Gentlemen, as Putin once said, that day has come. We are talking about the suspension of the release of the series and the closure of the full series. For the first time in its history, things are so bad. I am ashamed to show it to Uncle Tolya and his sons and grandchildren. For the first time in our lives, we failed. And the public is highly critical in the 21st century. Even more. Much earlier and much more. In addition, there are additional problems of a new nature. This is a decline in popularity among viewers of different authority and influence. You know, things happen on the beach. You can get acquainted if you were tracked down by a beauty with unprecedented gigantic shapes and body structure of a fitness model with a small tight sexy waist in a mini bikini. But Bart doesn't have a higher education. It is not in the future, which means that it is not attractive in the past. A very strange situation that never paints him and never bothers the dunce. The lack of new parallel storylines and interesting music intersecting with the main storylines became the new creed of the series on the decision of its board of directors and volume managers. And Terence, he's alive and well. Sculpting a blunder without originality is the business of Philistine amateurs, I'll tell you. I will answer the question of Yuri Vyacheslavovich that came to me by email. Mail right now. He asked a lot of questions. For example, I will voice one of them in secret to the whole world. By what signs did I understand this and why? What conclusions did I draw? What conclusions did he wonder? That's how it means. By the way, I'm not a screenwriter for a second. About the closing of the series and the family in the same city. It was always accepted in past episodes that events sometimes went beyond it. From the start, Christmas Eve and Christmas have been favorite episodes, with a bunch of original people and no drunken young model-looking girls, Bart and Lisa and Maggie's favorite girlfriends. Plots with romance or with a mixture of original sharp, hidden and open dumb humor. You know, when a new employee comes to a company where Jack London left his notes to the CEO, and he has not published them yet, he can easily surpass him. Roughly speaking, but only for the time being, until someone discovers the true face of humor, blows up its essence in every hero. Comic situations of sitcoms, you say. Bart doesn't have a motorboat or a scooter or a cool jet ski or ATV. There is never even a decent shirt. He has nothing in his wardrobe at all. And most importantly, there is no courtship and care from adult successful women. The fact is that the young Bart has something for it, namely, by determining the signs of his courage and ingenuity. There is something for the accomplished girls to love. He is in your mortar on the spot, overtaking the drivers with eggs on sleds with dogs. Face. This is a question for artists and you don't have them. The end of your failed, well, you wait. Sincerely, Alexei Talalayev, your friend and viewer of the honorary old series.